First of all, let me just say it's my pleasure to serve with you today. This is where I started my diaconate training, in the classroom in the back. Wow, there are so many things going on in today's gospel passage, and some not going on. Jesus prepares to perform his seventh and final sign, at least the recorded ones, the raising of Lazarus. He tells of it before he performs it. Mary and Martha show great faith, as do many of the Jews who are with them. Thomas states that they should accompany Jesus back to where he was just stoned so that they may die with him. If we're going to die with someone or for someone, might as well be Jesus. And lastly, Lazarus is raised from the dead. I would like to focus on only three of these things: what Mary and Martha do and do not do, the weeping of Jesus, and the blunt statements of truth by Martha and Jesus. Now, I've learned of different types of prayer, and so when I Googled it, AI informed me of some types I did not know. Prayers of adoration and worship, prayers of confession, thanksgiving, supplication, petition, intercession, consecration, dedication, prayers of agreement, prayers for warfare, praying in tongues, meditative prayer, contemplative prayer, prayers of faith, and prayers of imprecation, which is invoking God's judgment on wickedness, united prayer, and healing prayer. The world can be divided into lumpers and splitters. I am a lumper. That is why when I was single and doing my own laundry, I had lots of pink shirts, the reds and the whites. My wife, sitting here, is a splitter, and that works very well for our laundry nowadays. That's why I don't have a pink olive today. So I lump all prayers into communication or conversation with God. It can be in my words, my thoughts, my feelings, or my actions. Now, the Bible is filled with things that were done and said, and these are all important, but it is also filled, or not, with what is not done or not said. Now, I was fortunate to have preached at St. Paul's on the first Sunday of Lent, this Lent, where the gospel reading was on the temptation of Christ in the desert. Some of what I brought forth that day was what Christ did not do. He did not get angry at Satan. He did not fight with or smite Satan. He did not curse or punish Satan. He did not accept any of the temptations. He did not take over the world through Satan. He simply knew God and had faith. And so from today's gospel, Mary and Martha send a message to Jesus. Lord, he whom you love is ill. When Jesus arrives on the scene, Mary and Martha each say to him, Lord, if you had been here, he would not have died. What they say shows true faith in who Jesus is and what he is capable of doing. They know in their hearts and souls that Christ is God and would have been capable of keeping Lazarus from dying. Even the Jews who accompanied Mary when she ran to Jesus figured that Christ could have kept Lazarus from dying. What they do not know is that Lazarus had to die so that Jesus could raise him. Sound familiar? We celebrate this same fate with Jesus in a few short weeks. But what Martha and Mary do not do is ask Jesus to raise Lazarus from the dead. Perhaps they trusted Jesus to do what God wanted. Maybe they felt that even in their moments of grief and sorrow, God had a plan, and this was it. So Jesus waits 2 days, although he knows Lazarus has died. So Lazarus has been dead for 4 days when Jesus gets there. He is good and dead. Perhaps he does this to make the point that things will evolve in God's time, and that might not be in sync with our own timeline or what we might desire. So Martha meets Jesus and again just states her faith and does not ask anything directly of Jesus. She does not greet him with anger. She does not despair. She does not give up. Is Martha speaking womanese here? I have a wife and 3 daughters. I'm well versed in womanese. Is she really thinking, you know, if you'd been here, my brother would not have died? We don't get to see her body English, but I don't think that's the case here. And Jesus weeps. I think it is a miraculous expression of Christ's humanity that he weeps. Please let us close our eyes for a moment and imagine the scene. Is Jesus standing and weeping, or is he seated? Or is he kneeling? Does anyone move forward to console him? Perhaps put their arms around him? Or does he place his head on someone's shoulder and weep? Who does he weep for? Why does he weep? The text tells us that he wept when he was moved by the sadness of Mary and the Jews. Did he not weep for Lazarus, who had to die for this point to be made? Did he also not weep because Lazarus' death foretold his own suffering and death? Now, this is the last of Jesus' recorded signs. This miracle moves directly toward the path of the cross of Jesus. The verses that follow today's reading reveal Caiaphas placing a death sentence on Christ. Maybe that is part of why Jesus wept. When I read this passage, a song came into my mind. Some of you might know. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, written by George Harrison and performed by the Beatles in 1968 on the White Album. It is said to have been inspired while George was reading a Chinese classic book of changes, the I Ching. And some of the words go like this. I look at you all, see the love there that's sleeping, while my guitar gently weeps. I look at the floor and I see it needs sweeping, still my guitar gently weeps. I don't know why nobody told you how to unfold your love. I don't know how someone controlled you. They bought and sold your love. I look at the world and I notice it's turning, while my guitar gently weeps. With every mistake, we must surely be learning. Still my guitar gently weeps. Now, maybe Christ thought that when he was weeping and had to wait 1968 years until the Beatles put it out there. I don't know. Does God have feelings? I certainly hope he has a sense of humor if he's listening to my sermon. Was Christ weeping for humanity? Was he showing empathy and compassion for Mary, Martha, Lazarus, and the mourning Jews? This takes me back to the first reading on the first Sunday of Lent. It was a temptation of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Did God feel badly or disappointed when Adam and Eve disobeyed him? And when they left the garden, did they take a little piece of God with them so that God kind of really missed them? I think God did feel sad, and they did take a piece of God with them and left with a little God-sized and God-shaped hole in themselves. Now, Jesus also delivers a powerful I am statement here. I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me, even though they die, will live, and everyone who believes in me will never die. I think this is the most powerful of the 7 I am statements in John. He is saying, I got this. Stick with me, and you will be all right. You will be better than all right. And Martha knows this. She says, yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one coming into the world. True faith. So where does that bring us today? We should continue with Lent and increase our praying, fasting, and almsgiving. We can pray in so many ways and trust, like Martha and Mary, that God's plan will unfold in his time. That does not absolve us of working the plan. God's work, our hands. Sound familiar? Do you think Jesus is weeping now with our world the way it is? With us killing each other daily? I imagine that he is weeping and feeling the wounds that we inflict upon one another. For as he said, that which you do to the least of my brothers, you do unto me. Now, Bobby Kennedy said these words in the wake of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, and very shortly before his own. What we need in the United States is not division, not hatred, not violence and lawlessness, but love and wisdom and compassion towards one another, and the feeling of justice towards those who still suffer within our country, whether they be white or they be black. said that about 60 years ago. To these I would add all of our other marginalized sisters and brothers. Let us not stew in or spew out our negative thoughts, emotions, words, or actions. Let us not involve ourselves with hatred, bigotry, divisiveness. Instead, let us know and sow love in our thoughts, words, and deeds. Let us work toward a world of togetherness where there are no more senseless killings or wars, no more disrupted and destroyed countries, cities, towns, and neighborhoods. No more broken families, no more empty playgrounds, no more childless swings and slides, no more weeping guitars or weeping Jesus. Now, Bishop Katrina said in a post recently that our Christian faith turns strangers into neighbors and helps to see every single person in the image and likeness of God. And so as we raise our hands toward God and pray in this Lenten season to my sweet Lord, let us also bring forward our hands together towards one another in the Indian greeting of Namaste, which means the divine in me recognizes the divine in you.